What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we have to talk again about potentially the greatest thing of all time. No, look, a couple months back, right, I made a video, and I was pretty genuine in that video. If we got Prototype back in any way, number one, it would be the greatest rumor or leak or whatever that we've ever gotten, or close to it. That's number one. Number two, Prototype holds such a special place in my heart that you give me anything, please. I would, of course, love a revival, but you remaster one and two, you remake one or two. There's a lot of ways you can do it, and generally I'd be okay with kind of all of them. I have a preferred method. I have a way of maybe fixing Alex Mercer that I've talked about in the past, some kind of fan fiction things going on in my head, but I will take a return to this franchise literally any day of the week. It means a lot to me, and I imagine if you guys are watching this video, it means a lot to you too. It's a franchise a lot of us maybe grew up on, or obviously it's been around for 16 years at this point. We're getting pretty old also, my friends. So, okay, what we have here, again, a couple months back, there was just a flat-out rumor that, hey, it's coming back. I think it was maybe a rumor of a remaster or a remake, okay? Now, just, when I'm recording this 11 hours ago, we have this profile here that says Iron Galaxy Studios. One of the new studios in the credits worked in the Spyro remasters. This is 100% confirmed. They're remastering the games, likely using the same engine/code or some hybrid like Oblivion. And so where all of this stems from is there was a recent update on the PC version of the game, and it was data mined, and they found there was actually additions to it when it was data mined. They added cut missions, test maps, and new names to the credits. This one is probably the most important, right? New names to the credits, including Iron Galaxy, Ubisoft Connect, and emerging franchises. Now, I don't know what in God's name Ubisoft Connect has to do with all this, or Ubisoft in general, but look, Iron Galaxy, that makes a lot of sense. What's the last thing Iron Galaxy did is Tony Hawk, right? So they're in the Activision umbrella. They go back a while, and by the way, Iron Galaxy is not the greatest, I think, remake studio out there, but at the same time, they're very inconsistent, but when they hit, they hit. I think they've honestly done a really, really good job with Tony Hawk, and they go back, I think they did Uncharted back in the day. They've done quite a bit, not even just under Activision, but they're, again, they've made some mistakes, and they haven't been perfect, let's say that, but they've also done a really good job at times as well, and it kind of just makes sense, right? Again, being under Activision, under Microsoft. So, look, the game had a new update, and there was a data mine, and there's new things added, so what else do you want us to glean from that? I really, really think it's going to happen, and that makes me so excited. It's not a guarantee, but, again, you combine what we heard a couple months ago, and then now there's this. I think I saw over on Reddit back in 2024, Prototype 1 and 2 were listed on the Australian classification board, and I think just nobody even cared or bothered to notice. I don't even think it made an impact. And at the same time, it's well, why would two games, actually in this case, right? Why would they kind of come back on this board? Well, sometimes when this happens, it could be a port kind of situation, or it could be a remaster remake. So by the way, what this now I think shows, especially with that 1 and 2 were listed on the Australian thing, we might be getting a remaster of both, not just the first game. As I've said in the past, 2, very love-hate relationship. I have such a love-hate relationship with 2. Hate the story, hate what they did to Alex in particular. Despicable, to be quite honest with you. And I've talked about, the comics and all that jazz. At the same time, 2 was better in some ways, gameplay-wise. 1 will always be just one of the most special games in my entire life. I'm being totally genuine. It really changed my perception of gaming. It's the very first game I played on that generation of consoles. I got my PS3 in June of 2009, which was my birthday, is at the end of June. I got it specifically for Prototype. Now, Prototype was unbelievable, and I love it to this day. I think it's aged, honestly, extremely, extremely well, but that got me into, okay, well, that Christmas I got Uncharted, and, just the spiral for me as a person and a gamer that came literally because of Prototype. Because, yeah, you get the PS3 for Prototype, but naturally you're going to play other games as well. I owe a lot. I really actually owe quite a bit of my gaming life to Prototype, and it's not something I'll ever forget. Plus, the game's phenomenal. Plus, the game is legitimately excellent game. I've said before, I think Prototype won in terms of that Prototype Infamous war that was going on back in 09. I think Prototype 1 is miles better than Infamous 1. I think Infamous 2 is miles better than Prototype 2, but I think first games, I think Prototype 1 wins. So I would be so unbelievable. I mean, I could go on and on about my love of Prototype, but just give it back to me. Just give it back. And, a remaster's fine. It's 16 years old, at least the first game. Second game came out, 2011, 2012? So they're both pretty old. I mean, one is definitely in remake territory, to be honest with you. If we don't get a remake, that's fine at this point. If you do a remaster, because at the same time, when you say a game is being remastered, there's kind of like a soft remaster and a hard remaster, right? Where you really, there's those remasters that you kind of call remakes because you can't really tell. And then there's remasters where it's like, well, you kind of just ported the game and then called it a remaster. Obviously, I would prefer like the more aggressive, like, okay, let's really almost rebuild it. I think it deserves that kind of treatment because I think, and I've said this before with Infamous, but I will say it for Prototype, games like this I think would so work in 2025. You can agree or disagree in the comments, but I really think, like, for some reason, we have a lack of games like this. And I just feel in this age of games that are like 30 to 50 hour, open world stuff, I think we could use a game that's like 20 hours that's just so kind of edgy in a way, right? I really feel both of them, honestly, Prototype and Infamous, they fit so well in gaming in this modern age, and they're not around. They're either killed off or left for dead or whatever. They're literally not there anymore, and could this be something that, okay, you get the remaster and then maybe could we start talking about a new Prototype game in modern day? That would be awesome. I really believe it would work. Of course, it depends on the quality, but I think people would be there. And not just original fans. I think modern people that never played these games would be into them now. They just don't have games like this now. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.